Good day, Shifu, Brother Yo Ping, Hualien team, Hualien Dharma team, and brothers and sisters around the globe. Before we hear review of Wondrous Lotus Sutra, let us pay our respects for these teachings and explanations to the Buddha and Master Cheng by making 3 sincere bows. Please rise, palms together. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. And a bow to our beloved Shifu who could join us today. Over to you, Yo Ping.
Okay, good morning, everyone. All brothers and sisters, good morning. Thank you again for giving me this chance to share my thoughts and learnings for this past 1 week. So let me quickly begin what I would like to share today. Again, we are still in chapter 10, Teacher of Dharma. And actually, this chapter is very quickly going to end because we are already at the very last portion of stanzas where the Buddha repeats, to emphasize the main points of this chapter. And so we are already at this very last section, and after this stanza, this chapter will end, and then we'll be into chapter 11, which we already know, that is the emergence of the treasure tower. So we'll be going there very soon. And so for today, what I would like to share is, again, to emphasize the meaning and idea of the 3 directives, which, well, Master for the past, don't know how many, almost weeks, has been emphasizing and repeating many times the idea of these 3 directives, which let's repeat again. It's the great compassion as the room, and gentleness and patience as the clothing, and the emptiness of all phenomena as the seat. And it is in this situation, in this room, with this cloth, and on this seat, that a Dharma master preaches. And so these 3 ideas, compassion and gentleness, patience or forbearance, there's many different ways of we translate it, but we need to understand the meaning of it. And then this emptiness of phenomena, the understanding and the realization, enlightening of this truth of all things. Okay, everything is empty because of all the things we've been talking about, and so because of the emptying of all phenomena, and so we let go, so we don't have attachment. And when we don't have attachment in our mind will be clean and pure, with no ups and downs. And when we meet every situation, our mind will still be calm. And when our mind is calm, wisdom will manifest, and our wisdom will be able to come out. So we will not be guided by our karma or be guided by our habitual tendencies, but instead be guided by our principles, be guided by our wisdom, be guided by our very calm and pure mind. So that we see the things around us with a very clear vision, with a very clear view. We are very sure of what we are seeing, and we don't see it from our own personal point of view, but we see the truth from the other person's point of view, from other person's true feeling. And so from there, we could eliminate suffering, eliminate worries. And so to have these 3 things is very important. So today I would like to bring 2 stories that one is shared by Master about 2-3 days ago, which is a very interesting story. I'm not sure whether everyone heard it before, but I think the story is just so interesting that it's really okay to repeat it a few times. At least I enjoyed it every time I listen to it. And then another story was both are true stories. Another story was one of our brothers, which really is very inspiring. And we heard of it when Master went for a trip around Taiwan. So I'd like to share these 2 stories today. So again, let's just very quickly repeat the 3 directives again, but in another version that was told by Master a few days ago about the video. And it was compassion gives rise to all goodness. And so that's why we need to be in this room of compassion, because when we have compassion, compassion is the root, is the seed that the root that manifests into all forms of goodness. All forms of goodness stems from compassion, and there is the empathy, there is the feeling of equalness, the feeling of everyone as one single body, that everyone's included, embracing, and from there, the kind of compassion, the kind of I'm willing to see suffering of others, that compassion will give rise to all goodness, and then gentleness, the softness, the patience will allow us to see our own evil, to see our own worries, to see our own afflictions, and then from there stops ourselves from doing all these things, and that's precepts. And from there, we're guarded from our own evil thoughts. At the same time, we are guarded from the sort of actions from the surroundings, and so we are not affected by the surrounding. We're not affected by pain. We're not affected by slanderings. We're not affected by all the talkings, all the gossiping, all the all those things. So we're not affected by it, and so that we only have compassion in our mind, and the emptiness of phenomena brings tranquility to all appearances. So we see appearances as tranquil. That whatever happens in our life, the death of our loved ones, or leaving of someone that we really treasure, or the happenings, the impermanence that we'll meet in our lives, we can see through all these appearances, the tranquility, and then meet the tranquility in our mind. So how does this happen in daily life? Let's begin with the first story. So 2 days ago, Master shared of this story that actually happened pretty a long time ago, in 2008, in Taipei, actually. So exactly 10 years ago. So this happened, a true story that was really in the news. And then it goes like this. So there was this in January 2008. There was a car accident involving a bicyclist, and then a truck. While it wasn't a heavy knock, but the truck got a little too close to the bicycle, and then the bicyclist, a farmer actually, too nervous, and so knocked a little and fell down. And so the driver of the truck was very nervous, came down the truck to see what happened, if anyone was hurt, and he saw this man, this bicyclist, now under the truck, and around the surrounding floor was like red and full of I think at least he think blood. And so he was very, very shocked, and he's like, oh no, I'm in total trouble. And so he quickly called 119. 119 is the emergency, the ambulance, and everyone started to crowd around this place. Now after a while, ambulance came, and suddenly this man that was under the truck crawled out of the truck. And everyone's like, whoa. Okay, so he's still alive, and then he came out, but his body is still red and covered by all red and sort of like blood, and then it looks just scary. And so the paramedics came down from the ambulance and to check, is he okay, everything? And he was like, I'm okay, I'm okay. He's like, very, very normal. And so, getting a little closer, you realize that actually all the redness on his body is not blood. It's actually chili sauce. Well, so he's a farmer. He actually, very painstakingly, got all his chili sauce into this big bucket of chili sauce, and then been knocked down by the truck, and so this bucket of chili sauce, spread all over him, and also on the floor, so it looks like a pool of blood, but it was just chili sauce. It must be very painful for the farmer. I mean, there's one whole bucket of chili sauce, but he is well. Nothing happens. So everything was okay. But then someone calls out like, "Hey, where's the driver? What? Where's the driver?" Suddenly he disappeared. He called 119, but then after which he disappeared. And then they hear another shouting from just a distance away. There was this building that was still in construction. They hear someone saying that someone's jumping from the fourth floor, jumping down, and then really someone jumped out, and everyone's looking at it. He jumped out, fell down, and then after split second, he saw someone, and that was the driver sitting down there in the pavement. And then beside him was an old worker, an elderly worker, also on the floor. And so the paramedic quickly ran over. What happened? And then luckily, so what happened is this driver jumped down from the fourth floor, and then this elderly worker saw him jumping down. He doesn't have the time to even shout help, and so he quickly ran and then catch with his hand, two hands, and so the driver was actually safe. Nothing really happened. But jumping down the fourth floor, he must be really lucky. And so the driver was okay, but for the elderly man, not so okay. But so quickly paramedics sent him to the hospital. So they were at the hospital, and the next day, driver came together with the farmer also to the hospital to look at this elderly worker, see how is he going, and he was okay. Broke 2 of his ribs, but everything else was okay. So everyone was very glad, and so all the people around was also gathering, and then so one person asked the driver, "So why do you jump? I mean, it's a car accident, but why do you go and jump?" And so the driver starts to tell his stories and how he has been very, very poor, and knowing that he have caused trouble and someone might have died because of him, and he really have no money to pay to repay. We really don't know how he's going to face this. And he only have one thought, that is to die, and without beside that, he really don't know how he could repay all this. And so this is what he says. And so people ask, but so since you're going to die anyways, then why do you go and call 119? I mean, call an ambulance. You see you're going to jump. And he replies that, of course I'm going to call emergency because this person down that was not by me, he might be alive and he might be safe. So I must call someone to help. So that's what he said. And then I'm a worker, and I the hardship you have to go through and really have no money. I totally can understand. Don't worry, okay? I'm totally fine. Just 2 ribs broken. Do anything anyway. So the same, like, oh. And then the farmer, after listening to this, also knowing the hardship going through, he's a farmer, he knows it also, and so he says, and not knowing that the worker is not going to be able to repay him anyway, because so the farmer says that, don't worry, okay, pack up the big packet of. Okay, sorry, I know I'm disconnected. Where am I at? Okay, so let me continue. I hope it's the story still links. So I said the point where they're in the hospital, and then the conversation, and then the farmer was saying that knowing it's very difficult for this driver. So he says that, although it's a big loss for him, it's one whole big bucket of chili that must have came from one whole field of chilies trying to squeeze those sauce, one whole bucket of sauce. So the problem is his whole harvest of chili. That must be painful. That must be really painful on his wallet. So, but he says, well, I know the driver couldn't pay. And if he's going to jump again, he don't want to see that. So the farmer also says, please, don't worry, okay? And actually, I have to thank you because luckily you are just driving a small truck and not a big truck. Because if it's a bigger truck, then maybe I won't be here talking. So I got to thank you. Thank you for driving just a small truck. And I'm lucky and that I'm still alive. So thank you for well, it's a karma. Well, it's a karma pass. So I received this karma. It's supposed to be, I guess, it's supposed to be a huge karma, but I received it. The retribution was small, in a small way. So you got me through this huge karma, and I'm still alive. So thank you so much. So that's what the farmer says, which is also very touching. So all this happened, and Master was telling his story, and I think that the learning point from this was very, very awesome, which goes like, because each of these three people, they manifested the goodness within of themselves, and each of them were very forgiving and considerate to each other. You see how the farmer was very considerate of the driver, and so don't want him to worry about the pain, and don't want him to jump again, and so he was very considerate. And then the driver was very considerate too, because although he got into trouble, he could of course drive away or just don't care, but he still called 119 because he hoped the farmer could be saved. So there was this goodness within him also. So he called, first thing first is to call 119. So he still had the conscience in his mind. And then of course the elderly man that now he uses his bare hands to catch someone falling from fourth floor, knowing that he probably will be crashed down there, but he still wouldn't do it. And someone actually asked him, you could be crashed and get yourself into disabled, or why do you go and catch him? And the elderly man was like, why not? I mean, we're humans. Human beings, you got to help each other, right? And if you see someone in suffering and someone jumping down, and you don't help, are you still human? And so the elderly man was like, well, if he go and jump again, I'm still going to catch him. I think that it was like really, really grassroots people. Elderly man is just amazing. And so really, each of them manifested the goodness. And so such a story could end so beautifully. I mean, we could imagine all different kinds of sceneries, how this can go bad. I mean, the worst is the driver is really struck, and then the farmer was struck, really hurt, and then the driver didn't call the ambulance and really go and jump, and he jumped and really died, and then the elderly man saw him and was really sad, and he couldn't do anything. So the whole story could have turned much worse. But because of each of their forgiving of each other, the farmer was okay, the driver was saved, and then he doesn't, and then they were forgiving of each other, so they do not quarrel over the compensations. Imagine the quarreling over compensation, and then lawsuits after lawsuits, which happens so many times nowadays, and we just makes something, we just make the trouble even more troublesome, and then cause so much afflictions and so much troubles in this life. And also, why do we do that? And so really, when the environment, when everyone, when the whole society and community has this goodness and conscience, then even a trouble like this, an unfortunate event like this, a car accident and so on and so forth, someone jumping, but yet it ends all with such a beautiful ending. So how amazing it is. So Master says, purify everyone's mind is in this way. When everyone's mind is purified, you know, oh, such stories can be beautiful. Okay, so it's really so again. So when we look at this back into this compassion that we're talking about, where everyone has the compassion, it gives rise to all goodness. And then such a story of so-called evil or so-called unfortunate events is no longer unfortunate because of everyone's gentleness, everyone's patience, everyone's forgiving, everyone's forbearance, and this forbearance is not the kind of it's not the kind of trying to the kind of forced forgiving, but true forgiving. You can hear from this story, each of these three people, they are really very forgiving, and because of that, everything is okay, and everyone is happy. There's tranquil in their mind. Everything is okay. Awesome. It's just I like this story very much. Just amazing. Okay, second story, which is someone from Taichung, one of brother called Ke Rui An, is the man from left, second from the left, elderly man, one of our brother, a very dedicated in Tzu Chi path, a very awesome volunteer. If I'm not wrong, he is 协力组长. So taking up this role in the community, always very dedicated, but something impermanent happened. So they were having this meeting, this 四合一会议, and then all the all the committees were around. So he was up there sharing his sharing the volunteer affairs, the things they've done, all the things. And so after that, when he was going back to his seat, he actually didn't manage to sit down. He fell, and actually we are not so sure what happened. Maybe a stroke or something with the heart, some heart problem. So he didn't. So he fell and actually went into a coma. And so everyone quickly sent him on ambulance to the hospital. But he actually fell into a coma for a long time, for a really long time. But well, miraculously, 2 weeks, which is a long time, 2 weeks later, he woke up. He woke up from the coma, and he was very conscious. But he couldn't really speak because the emergency ward was doing all the emergency procedures. They actually have to cut a hole on the throat to help him breathe with machines and so on and so forth. So he couldn't speak because he had a hole over here. So he couldn't speak. But he was very conscious. So he was able to communicate with pen and paper. And you know what? The first thing that he wrote was 做环保, to recycle. So after 2 weeks, it's almost one round through life and death, and then come back, woke up for that short moment of consciousness. The first thing in his mind was to recycle. And what he wanted to say is that because he was a 协力组长, and he's in charge of these recycling stations, and for the past how many years I don't know, but he has been in charge of recycling stations, and this is like the whole of his life. Is the whole dedication into this. So the very first thing he could think of is, please continue the recycling and help me take care of the recycling station. Do recycling, and that is the most important thing in his life. Do it for the next generations. 做环保. I mean, I don't know, these three words is just so powerful. Do recycling. And what's the second thing he wrote? 国见师兄. And who is this 国见师兄? And we went to find out, and actually this 国见师兄 was a brother that actually had a stroke earlier on, and brother brother Ke has been caring for him, taking care of his family, and then bringing through these rehabilitations, and all this while been taking care of him. But he's worried that if he's not around, someone has to continue taking care of him. So that was the second thing he think about. Think about the Dharma family, someone that has been caring about that. Someone else, please continue caring for him. And that's what he's thinking about. And the third thing he wrote, 我很有信心. I have faith. I have faith. And very quickly, in fact, he actually wrote another paper that says he knows he's not going to pass tonight. He's very clear that he's going to leave. It's very short, and he has faith. He's not worried. He knows where he's going. And so on that night, Father can pass away. So from this story, we could really see how such a person with compassion filling his mind, so that after waking up from coma, the only thing he's thinking is, someone please continue the Bodhisattva path. Someone please take care of this brother. The only thing in his mind is still just compassion. And no, he's not worried about the pain that he's been going through, that he's going to die, and then his own family, how he's going to go through all this, and then no, struggling to stay alive, all those mind-boggling minds. He's not worried about it. He's not worried about it at all. He's just worried about someone else. He worries about the brother Guojian, if he's okay. And he worries about the recycling station, whether someone will take care of it. He worries about these things. Even it's this thing, I just reflect upon myself. I don't know. What would I think about when I'm in that last seconds? And no, just woke up from coma, 2 weeks coma. Waking up, the first thing in my thought, I don't know, when I woke up early morning, I wouldn't have remembered what I did in the morning, a day ago. And then when I woke up in the morning, I just think about, I'm so tired, I want to sleep more. I mean, what kind of thought is that? You know, and we know that actually waking up from sleep each night is like, we call it a short death, small death. And then waking up every morning is like a refresh of our day, of our life again. And every morning when we woke up, what's our first thoughts? What are we thinking? Well, probably not recycling station, probably not Brother Guojian. So he's just amazing. I mean, he really thinks for someone else. And of course, when a person with compassion so deep, his mind is tranquil. He's not worried about life and death. And his mind is not up and down. His mind is not up and down. So that's true forbearance. True forbearance that actually has no forbearance. It's just calmness in his mind. And when he has such a mind, he has faith. He has faith. 我很有信心. And that's a faith. And with such a faith, and we are so sure that he is going to come back in his lifetimes to come. So it's such a vow that will sustain till the last breath and beyond. Many of our recycling volunteers are like this. They say they're going to do till their last breath. And doing till the last breath, in another way, is doing every second, every moment. And it's because we don't know when impermanence will come. Like this brother, he never knew. He was in a meeting and then coming down from the stage, and just like this. So everything could happen. So what it means to do until the last breath is to have that thought every single second. And when we have that thought every single second, our whole eighth consciousness, the seeds that we plant in our eighth consciousness, is just compassion, it's just goodness. And so when we woke up, like when we woke up from coma, the only things in his mind, in his eighth consciousness, is just goodness. And so this thing that we will think about is someone else, is recycling. And when we have that, we know, we are very sure that lifetime is lifetime beyond. Such a vow, he will continue. He will bring along the vows to his next life and not karma to his next life. And so that's why he's so sure. I have faith. And with that am I sharing. Really, Buddha's heart is our heart. Master's mission is our mission. Make each of Master's mission, make each of Buddha's heart, that every seed of it into our mind, plant it deeply into our mind. And we woke up hearing Buddha's prediction of our Buddha nature, hearing, still listening to the Bodhisattva's path, still walking the Bodhisattva's path, even in our dream, even when we die, that same mind is still the same. Thank you so much for listening. It's the 2 stories I'm sharing. Thank you. Thank you. Sister Tzu Chi, pass back to you.
感恩 Brother Yoping for the wonderful sharing of stories. Okay, today we have sharing from Singapore. There will be 3 sisters to share with us. Okay, Sister Jane, over to you.
Good morning, everyone, especially to Master, brothers and sisters. I'd like to earn everyone here in Singapore that we are linked up with the Dharma, and especially to Sister Jane that has encouraged me to do this sharing. So I'm Judy, and my sharing is about the bamboo coin bank. All right, on daily basis, I hear friends and relatives say, "Oh, I'm very busy and no time to do charitable act." Thus, encouraging adoption of coin bank is a way to help them to plant the good deeds in them. I would like to also share with you the power of the coin bank. I'd like to感恩 to Sister Cheng, because last year, 2016, myself and my husband visited Hualien as a tourist. So with my elder daughter as well, and she has planned everything, and we're so glad that we have visited Hualien, and that's what I'm repeating. And yeah, so we brought back some coin banks, and yeah, we came back to Singapore and we attended the Qing Fa Xiang, and that's how I met Sister Jing, Sisters Hualien, and Qing, you know. And then there was a time that my emotion was going on the roller coaster because my second sister was very, very ill, you know, with some muscle issue, you know. So she being a Christian, and I do not know what to do for her, but she's really a nice sister. So I shared with Sister Qing, and she said, "Yeah, sister, why not you give her a bank coin, you know, to help her to continue to do good, you know." So I do not hesitate. Quickly after the Qing Fa Xiang, and we had our daily sharing at the coffee area, and I went home to take one coin bank and quickly deliver it to my sister. But her muscle was already deteriorating, and yeah, what we could do is to hold her fingers with the coin, and then I keep on telling her, "Sister, you can still do good, you know, no doubt you are not able to move around." And she consistently dropped the coin in. Yeah, and that was the turning point was she passed on passing away in February 15. Sister Qing was still with me, though not beside me, but with the phone, and she kept on telling me to remind my sister about her doing good by dropping the coins in the coin bank. And my sister was really like sedated already. So, but I keep on, you know, reminding her, "Sister, you're doing very good thing by putting the coins, and you're actually feeding, you know, those destitute and things, and you know, you're doing good thing, you know." And then suddenly she gave a hard breath, like, you know, and I said, she said that, and I knew she will be going to a good place, you know, because she knows that she did a very, very good deed, you know, before her last breath come on, you know. So I really like to encourage people to, your friends or family, to do an adoption of the coin bank, you know. So thank you again to Sister Qing, and I know where my late sister is now, in a good place. Huh? Yeah. So I have a few examples to show you how we actually help others to adopt, you know, encourage others to adopt the coin bank. So there was, when we had the privilege of visiting Hualien, as I mentioned, in 2016, and that was our first encounter, you know, with the bamboo coin bank. When we knew the purpose of this coin bank, myself and my husband were excited to take part in the 50-year-long tradition that Master has implemented this coin bank, you know. So we began contributing at home by placing the coin bank on our altar table, and upon returning from the trip, I could not help but to share such a joyful daily practice with my family and friends who understood this practice. They were further motivated when they came to realize that the simple act of dropping a coin can be combined with good and generous thoughts. So during our second trip with the entrepreneur group in November 2017, it happened so coincident in November as well. So knowing some companies even encourage staff to adopt the coin banks, And that spurred me to put one on my office desk. I shared with friends and colleagues on the goodness of dropping the coin, and they are very receptive of it, especially they are foreigners. And I said to them, if you miss home, here is where you can connect with your loved ones by dropping a coin. Even the office cleaner who is from China came to me one morning, first with some coins, and some days later, she came with a $5 note. And she told me that she wanted very much to participate in this practice. It was such a joyful moment for both of us.感恩 her for her great love. So there's another example I'd like to share is my husband and I frequent the foot reflexology center, where the reflexologists readily asked to receive coin banks after I shared with them about Hualien. We wasted no time in helping them to achieve their wants to practice charity. We rushed home immediately to pick up the coin banks and delivered the coin banks to them so that they can start the practice. In between, also shared daily aphorism with them, and they are earned to receive the sharing too. They mentioned to us that due to their nature of work, they cannot find time to volunteer any charitable work. Thus, the idea of adopting the coin bank is a very good alternative. So this, by rushing home, because we were not prepared, right? So we went home to take the coin bank. From now, encourage you all, if you have a car, put some coin banks in your car boot, and that will be easier, But that is a really worth trip for us to rush back and bring it for them, Yeah. So on another occasion, we visited another center to do our massage. But we shared this with the reflexology, but he was not yet able to accept, this charitable act. But nevertheless, we planted the seed on him and hope that the next round his condition will ripen to accept the coin bank. Okay, and I have another one to share, is that I planted the Dharma seeds on my 5 lunch buddies, all right? And that took me about 3 months of sharing, And what happened is that they were not ready to adopt the coin banks, despite telling them the goodness of it. So to my surprise, they were ready to adopt the coin banks when I exchanged greetings and said to them that hope that they can adopt the coin banks to have a good start for 2018. Right. And to my surprise, 2017 ended on a high note for me with my 3 buddies out of 5. 3 is good enough, right? My lunch buddy readily received the coin banks to start their practice at home. Yeah. To end the sharing, we put our palms together to rejoice for all their actions, and also we are so thankful to chance upon Tzu Chi in November 2016 and hope to continue our journey with all brothers and sisters. Thank you for all guidance and感恩 to all again. Thank you for the sharing.
Thank you, Sister Judy, for the overwhelming response. Great sharing, because I got the information from the chat group. I diligently follow what Sister Judy has mentioned. My car booth is full. It's like a Tzu Chi garage. I have all the bamboo coin bank, as well as the ethical eating days campaign and then donation forms. Yeah. Okay. I would like to share today also. I just newly commissioned in Taichung, together with 8 TIMA members. This year, Singapore has about 80 newly commissioned members in Taichung, and the first time TIMA group has the most. We have 8 in total. So it's about 10%. Our TIMA is the medical volunteer groups in Tzu Chi. Okay. So actually we vowed to master that we want to do a recruitment following the master's wooing of Pusa Da Zhao Shen. So we want to we vowed to master that we want to do a TIMA Singapore recruitment. So 2 weeks later, we will meet up together in Dr. Ho's house and to discuss the concrete plan on how to do it. So my personal agenda is, because I'm a TCM physician, so I would like to carry out 2 plans, but of course, definitely with the TIMA group's help. One is the recruiting more new TIMA members to join Tzu Chi. So they can be TCM physicians, TCM pharmacists, or TCM physicians assistants. So this need the group effort to organize such activities. Next is I personally think that we need to upgrade ourselves in TCM aspect. So I intend to reach the Singapore TCM physicians to attend the Silence Mentor program in Taiwan. That will definitely benefit us a lot. So I have planned this for about a year. It's still in plan, yet to action. So I will have to put it into action this year. I promise. So I try to share a picture of all our 8 TIMA members certified this year. Yeah, okay. So these are the first 2 rows are the 8 TIMA members that being certified this year on 26 November. I always complain about my husband, but I think my husband's birthday is a great day. It must be an auspicious day. That's why we certified on this day, 26 November. This is Dr. Ho. Just do a bit of commercial preview. Dr. Ho is a ear, nose, throat specialist. He will be sharing on his Buddha path in Tzu Chi on the 21st of this month. Okay, so another thing I would like to share is actually this Wednesday, one TIMA sister, Summer, share a good page from Master's book, is how do we progress spiritually in this life? So this question was posed to Master's first disciple, Tzu Sifu. So Tzu Sifu actually replied, say, put it in layman term, it is very simple. Just get rid of the bad habits and bad actions. And I translate that to eliminating the 3 poisons, if not at least minimizing it. So the 3 poisons means that greed, anger, and ignorance. So to overcome it is, for greed is giving to overcome the greed, compassion, pacify the anger, and wisdom, dispel ignorance. For me, I guess it's my ignorance that is the biggest one. Of course, the other 2 also exist. I will try to minimize it as much as possible while I walking the Dharma path. So lastly, I think picture is more than 1,000 of words. So what best can I use to describe my journey, my joyful journey, walking the Dharma path in Tzu Chi? It's via a video. I try to share the video. Hopefully everything's runs smooth. Something happened and my world was changed. Some people looked on while my eyes were glazed. Then a new friend came and showed me how I could put my feet back on the ground. A little love, a little kindness and safety. You inspired me to keep going on. And this harsh and you took me to safety. Now it's my turn to pass it on. So I stand up, I will be like a helping hand. I will open my heart again. I remember the words I was saying was not the end. Never give up. Help is never let fall away. We're not alone, so we're not afraid. Moving forward with hearts and minds, one day at a time. Thank you. I guess with that, I will end my sharing. So the next one, naturally, I should introduce Sister Cheng, who is commissioned this year.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Cheng, and the Fa Hao that I got this last year was Ning Yi. Yeah, so Ganan for the opportunity to share today. Actually, what I would like to share with everyone is about yuan, affinity, which is actually what I learned from Tzu Chi after joining Tzu Chi. So I would say that I'm kind of like a scientific person. Yeah, probably since from my training since young in the science stream, and then also now in the medical field, where we always talk about like evidence-based practices. Yeah, so I think to me, everything is not true until proven to be true. Yeah, so in 2011, I did a short elective at the Hualien City Hospital. And during one of the weekends when we had nothing better to do, I followed the Malaysian students to the airport, Jing to volunteer. So it just happens that during that time, they were having the like graduation ceremony of the batch of medical students from the Tzu Chi University. And one of the sisters was like, oh, you're a medical student, why don't you just join them and just sit at the back and watch? So to my left, okay, at that time, was Shangren. Yeah, she was like 5 meters away from me, sitting at the back and watching the ceremony as well. And then I was looking at her, and there were like volunteers who came and paid their respects to her, and she was like very busy on her laptop or something. Yeah, so I was like, wow, this is the Shifu who started the whole Tzu Chi. Whoa, wow, she must be really great. But at that point in time, she's still a stranger to me. And I must say that even though I felt that I should probably be like very respectful towards her and a lot of like inspiration from her, but I didn't actually feel much lah. Yeah, so sad to say. But after returning back to Singapore, and I started volunteering with Tzu Chi. So you always hear stories of brothers and sisters, telling you, oh, when you go back to Hualien and you see Shangren, oh, a lot of people start crying, cheering, and even the brothers, men who have never teared for years, will start crying like a baby in front of master. So I was thinking, wow, then I must be really heartless. I was like, look at Shangren, I have no feeling at all. But anyway, okay, just to share one story, one of the doctors, Dr. Cheng from Singapore Tima, before he went to Hualien to share to 报告, like to report to Shangren, he was asking me, since you don't have the chance to go back, why don't you tell me what you want to tell Shangren, I'll help you convey. So wow, that time I was thinking real hard, and then what I came up with was to the effect of, dear Shangren, I think you are a really great person because from all your disciples, how they are so dedicated and doing all those good work, and they always say that it's because of you, that they drew that inspiration from you, so you must be really great. And for myself, I would like to thank Master for coming, starting out the Tzu Chi world, because as a volunteer, I really benefited a lot. So I don't think you need much from the volunteers because you're already up there. But what I would like to transform my gratitude to you into action and diligence. Yeah, so that was what I told him. As you can see, the kind of level lah. Yeah. So anyway, throughout the volunteering process, the other hurdle or of sorts, or maybe another kind of experience that I had was the commissioning, because I didn't think that I was really ready to undergo the commissioning training, because I always felt that I didn't have much affinity with Shangren. Hearing all the volunteers saying, wow, they really love Shangren to bits. Then in my heart, I'm like, wow, I must be the one who is the least affinity with her, because I don't feel much about it, Yeah, but anyway, one of the sister in Singapore was telling me, just since why don't you 随顺因缘, just follow your affinity, since you're already here at the commissioning path, why don't you just join and see how it goes, where it brings you to. So I thought, yeah, it kind of makes sense as well, because I'm like keen to learn also. So just follow the flow, right? I think that the thing that touched me the most or transformed me the most is actually the Xun Fa Xiang, which is a wisdom at dawn. Yeah, because I was just thinking how to share with you guys how wonderful it is, but I I don't think I would be able to because it's really too great and too beyond me already. And even if I try, you might not believe me. So what I would say is that I think from the Xun Fa Xiang experience, from the teachings that Master taught, and looking at and doing what we do as Tzu Chi volunteers, it really matches. Yeah, it's like the Xun Fa Xiang is like Master teaching you the principles behind it, and then as we volunteer, and do what Master taught us to do, right? I think it gives it a lot more meaning, and it really helps you understand things on a bigger scale. So, and the other thing is about Shangren, like how Master and a Buddha, they are like so dedicated. They like truly came to the world to dedicate their life for all of us sentient beings. So arrogant, so full of doubt, so ignorant, and at the expense of their own health, own well-being. So I think anyone who realizes this cannot help but feel a deep sense of respect and gratitude towards these great masters. So during the commissioning ceremony, when Shangren first stepped into the hall, I realized that I had been converted because I was like, she was so far away from me, but I was just tearing non-stop, because finally, the master has arrived, and I think it's really like after walking this journey, a deep sense of gratitude to Shangren. And lastly, what I'd like to say is this thing about affinity. Like, actually, it is not cast in stone. It actually can be transformed. And the power of wisdom at Xun Fa Xiang, I would like to encourage everybody to come and give it a try, even though it can be quite trying, but still just allow yourself to come and learn and let Xun Fa Xiang do the magic for itself. And I'm sure we will all gain a lot from it. Okay,感恩 for the opportunity to share. Thank you.
Oh, 感恩. Okay, any more from Singapore? That's it, huh? Okay, the three wonderful sharing from Singapore, Sister Judy, Sister Jane, and Sister Jing. We are really blessed to be able to hear all this wonderful sharing. Okay, sorry, Brother Ping has just left because he has to attend a charity visit today, home visit. We are very grateful to him despite his tight schedule. He still try to make it. Okay, as what Sister Jing said, we pray that more can enjoy this Xun Fa Xiang and be benefited from it and feel the Dharma joy, just like what the others have, most of the Xun Fa Xiang goers are getting now. So we hope more people can benefit from it too. We know that this both Sister Jing and Sister Jane, they are really into Xun Fa Xiang. In fact, they encourage each other. I think they also carpool. Which we can do it also if one person may be lonely going there, you can try to get another person to go with you. That will be good. Okay. Thank you for everyone. Thank you everyone for your presence. Kai En for sharing lots of life wisdom today, sisters. Hope that each of us could sustain the Dharma joy and take in another piece of Masters and Hualien love to our life. Let us please make 3 bows to the Buddha and Master Zhen Yan as we depart to apply these teachings in our daily lives. Let us pay our respects to our teachers of life universal truth. Please rise, palms together. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. Thank you everyone for coming today. See you all next Saturday. Kai En, bye bye.